And welcome to the VSA Capital Tech and Transitional Energy Podcast. It's Thursday, August the 18th, and we're in the middle of, is it drought, flooding, train strikes, fire and brim and thunder, all sent down by Moses. Which of those is it, Phil, do you reckon?
Hey, nearly had the flood yesterday after 5 minutes of rain. And you know, I'm still sat here at home, Newmarket. I'm waiting for the UFO invasion, Andrew. That's not been mentioned in the news yet. So, I think that's next.
Pretty much everything is being thrown at this market, isn't it? You know, we've got inflation now over 10%. Everybody worrying about this and that. I don't know if you've done your personal inflation calculator. You can do it on the BBC. Mine came out at 9.8%.
Oh, blimey. I've not done, but I better do mine. But I shop between Aldi and Waitrose. I'm hedging.
Ash, the world, I know this also today, this isn't tech transitional energy, I know, but I know the Japanese government is trying to encourage younger people to drink more. I mean, where does that come from?
I saw the headline. I should have read the article. Maybe it'll make them a lot happier.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the answer to inflation and everything. It's just drink more and not even know it's going on. Numb the mind.
Absolutely.
Dear. Anyway, we better move on. To tech and transitional energy, where there's a few quite big things as well as news, isn't there? I don't know where you'd like to start. I suppose, why don't we start on tech for a change? Because it's all about M&A, isn't it? I think you're going to probably bring that up, Phil. Is my best guess. Not having pre-chatted to you about this, but that's my guess.
That's a very shrewd guess. It is there is a lot of news. Well, why don't we start with Darktrace?
That is the one to start with, correct.
The cybersecurity company. The ticker is DARK. Dark. It's now 3.8 billion market cap, I think, on screen, something like that. Forecast revenue for the business, just for reference, 546 million. This is on Icon forecast, and 27 million of profit, and valued at just under 4 billion. Gore blimey, that's a bit of a valuation, but there's reasons. It's cybersecurity, and it deploys AI technology in cyber defense, and they state used by 6,500 organizations across 110 countries to protect cloud, email, internet things and networks, etc. Anyway, Darktrace, of course, Mike Lynch of Autonomy was involved in the founding of this company. Is just over 4% shareholder of that. Autonomy is another subject altogether. But apparently, it's in fact they formally stated in early stage of discussions with Thomas Bravo. LP. I think that's private equity. Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong.
It is, yes.
It is. And so they have said that this is regarding a possible cash offer for the whole business. And they've got to make that offer by the 12th of September. So that's just one item on the M&A front.
Well, let's just carry on this one a second, because this isn't all over, is it?
No.
I mean, the stock is trading. The bid is. Remind me again what the official bid is.
I
caught you out here.
Cool. Yeah, you got me. Go on.
Yeah, come on.
Anyway, I'm sure the share price will already be up there at it. But yes.
No, that the whole point is, Phil, right?
Go on. What have I missed? Go on.
That the share price is above, isn't it? Because this is going to be a bidding war.
I would have thought so.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh yes. No, this is going to be a bidding war. I'm sorry. I'm actually just flicking through my screen. So it was at 4. Where's seated perimeter approach? Let's see if we just quickly find it. We should know this off the top of my head. This is really bad. Really bad
to our
podcast.
Listeners there.
So I'm pretty sure that the preliminary was just going to a price. I think the price was, sorry, I'm saying this off the top of my head, it was really, really bad. They were talking was in the sort of mid 400s. The price currently trading in the mid 500s at 545p. Now, look, when this stock floated, I think it was at 300p, went straight up to £10. came all the way back down again, now at 5.45. The question is it worth £10? Now, it probably won't go for £10, but I think we could see a bit of a bidding war here, and the stock could just keep going higher and higher. So let's watch this space.
It is indeed. And it's because, there's a scarcity of players in this space. And of course, earlier this month, we had news again in cyber on Avast, AVAST. The UK, the Competition Markets Authority, provisionally green-lighted the proposed, this was an $8 billion merger with Norton LifeLock, cybersecurity company. So, that's active sector without doubt. But look, the M&A activity continues. Firstly, let's just start with a rumor, and this was in the Times this week, that RS Group are being approached. Ticker on that is RS1R. And for those techies among you who are involved in electronics, RS are formerly Electric Components, Andrew, renamed itself RS Group. And they're a big distributor of electronics components. And these shares have been, as one we discussed before, Electric Components, and they've been performing very well. But that's a rumor in the Times of bid approach. We had, of course, July Meggitt in defense technology. And that deal that was announced originally in August 2021. And this was an acquisition by Parker Hannifin in the US, and their motion control technology company. So that deal's been finally approved. And then back in June, we had EMIS, and that's 1.2 billion market cap. That's UK. It's healthcare software, and that was bid for by health services firm Optum UK. So a fair bit of M&A activity happening on UK markets, and it's always very sad, of course, to see these companies go. So let's hope that the IPO market gets active again, and we can see some new ones on the exchange.
Well, of course, one of the things is that with the dollar being so strong and sterling not particularly strong, I think it's fair to say that for an American looking at the UK, it's like going into a sweetie shop, isn't it?
It's 1.6 down to, what was it, $1.6 to the pound a few years ago, not so long ago, and down at 1.2 now. Yeah, absolutely.
So, we're going to get more bids. I'm just reminding myself, I'm being really thick. There's proof that this is done live, by the way. Of course, the Dark Trace one is at a preliminary stage. They haven't actually put a price out there yet. And there's actually, as they would have to say, there is no certainty that it will actually happen and everything. And they've got until September the 15th to actually announce what they're going to pay. So the market is obviously anticipating it'll be around 550p. We don't actually have a price. Just to correct myself, I was checking that out and reminding myself whilst you were talking, Phil.
That excellent. Yeah, it's in early stage discussion, and it's a possible cash offer. But you are absolutely correct.
But we've said on this podcast many times there's going to be more and more M&A, and there's going to be. I can tell you, advisors all around the place. I can't say what stocks are in, but even ourselves, we've got a whole load of M&A on our plate. It could get quite an interesting autumn.
Well, let's hope so. Look forward to that. Did you see? But on the flip side, we've had some UK companies acquiring as well, which is good news. All
right, do the flip. Tell us all about it.
Well, Sage Group, Sage, and I think they're 4100 Sage, tickers SGE, 7.5 billion market cap. And Sage are hugely well known in business for their accounting software, but also their software forms general financial and HR and payroll. And they've agreed, they announced an acquisition of a US company, UK company acquiring a US company called Lockstep, who do, this is cloud-based tech for, well, not surprised, accounting workflows between companies. And they're based in Seattle with 130 people in the business. And so that's automating accounts receivable, accounts payable, workflows, etc. So this was they've not announced the price of the acquisition, but that was Sage making an acquisition there. And also IQGeo Group, Andrew. I think this is what we mentioned before. This is geospatial software, and this is an AIM business. Ticker is IQG, and their software is used by telecommunications and utilities industries. So where you're trying to locate where networks are, where you can put in new networks and capacity. They use the geospatial software to do that. So they've made an acquisition. They also did a placing as well, raising £3.5 million towards the acquisition of a company called Comsoft. They're based in Belgium as a geospatial tech software company as well. So they've been acquiring. And there you go.
Very good. Now, should we carry on tech or go through results, or should we go to let's go to a bit of a big theme, switch over to transitional energy, because we know that we love transitional energy. And we've had quite a lot of news this week on Invinity Energy Systems. Yes, I'm sorry, folks, it's Invinity Energy Systems again. We do love to talk about it. But those that have been listening to this podcast for a long time will remember back in March that I went on a trip to Hot Springs, Arkansas. This just shows you how long it takes to get deals done. That was back in March. And this week, Invinity Energy Systems have announced that they have signed an MOU with US Vanadium based in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So I think it's fair to say that I set the whole thing up. And the reason this is actually really exciting is, number one, US Vanadium are going to put some money into this joint venture to get it going, which Invinity don't have to. They put in their IP, for want of a better word. But US Vanadium is also, their major shareholder is a group called TechMet, which is actually based in London. But a lot of the money in TechMet is American government money. In other words, they're getting into bed with the American government. So what they are doing here, as most people have probably worked out, is they're making themselves look like a very American company. Their CEO is based in San Francisco. They've got themselves an OTC quote, which, maybe moves on to a bigger market in the future. They're now looking to put in manufacturing capability in America, and then you'll start selling megawatts, hundreds of megawatts of batteries into the American market. And we all know that the California Energy Commission is looking for non-lithium alternatives for long duration energy storage. So we are building up here to flying the stars and stripes, and it's pretty exciting. And in fairness, the stock price this week has performed pretty well, admittedly from an incredibly low, but it's come up from about 35p to about 55p, which is a pretty healthy move in 1 week. I think there's going to be more coming out of this, hopefully in the coming months.
We look forward to that, and look forward to that, Andrew. It's a really exciting time, especially you look at what's happening in the energy storage market over there in terms of the financing, in terms of the government act, and money's flowing into the sector. So, but these things, strategic moves like this take time to do and need to be well thought through, as you're showing there. But they seem to be right building blocks being put in place there to really build this business up.
It also shows that it's worth following my travel arrangements, because it gives you a bit of a clue of what might be going on. Anyway, right, that was that one. What do you want to go on to next? Do you want to go on results and that sort of thing?
Well, we could. Well, actually, there's been a bit of a positive results, I have to say, coming out. But I'll tell you something else caught my eye, and this is on the subject of inflation. And this was from Cisco in the States. And Cisco, of course, one of the biggest global providers of networking technology. So this is all the stuff that makes your comms networks work and transmit all of those massive amounts of data at very, very high speeds. So Cisco is a big buyer of silicon chips. And they said, their results on Wednesday, they suggested that they're seeing, after the challenge of COVID supply, etc., overall supply constraints are beginning to ease back, which I thought is very interesting. They sort of continue the theme, and this affects all sorts of sectors in manufacture because it is silicon chip supply. We commented last week on the podcast about Micron Technologies make memory chips, and they go into all sorts of applications, but they were saying, they're also using computer servers, PCs, consumer electronics, and Micron was saying that they were seeing an easing of consumer demand. I think they're reducing capex, and Intel as well. So what we're sort of seeing is, and when they, demand eases, means that capacity starts to get freed up. They shift manufacturing onto other bits of tech chip manufacture, which supplies other end markets. So we're probably starting to see some of the issues free up, and that does ultimately help with inflation as well as supply.
Yeah, we've been talking to a few people actually recently that have started to indicate that maybe supply chains are getting a bit easier and shipping costs are maybe just starting to come off, which would be exceptionally good news. It does have to say, because it is, as you say, a big hit onto inflation.
Yeah. So, we're constantly keeping an eye out these results coming out. I mean, most of the main US results are out now. It's been a quiet period for news, I must admit, on the UK markets. Trying to think anything.
There were one or two things I spotted. I'd say little ones. Eco, I don't know if you saw that. They had a significant cloud contract win, and a bit of an order update, which was pretty positive, but it's been a bit of a dog stock this year. I followed that one partially because I've got it in my mother's IHT portfolio that I run. Actually, everything's still in line with board expectations, so it wasn't going to send everything crazy. I noticed that Superseed Group that we listed on Aquis had their interims, which were all pretty good actually, and they're going to have a capital markets sort of day fairly soon. It's still very, very small. Obviously, it's does very early stage seed tech investment, but they had interims. Actually, the price has been pretty good, funny enough. I did notice one actually, Zytronic today. I don't know if you saw. They make sensors.
Oh, what? Yeah, Zytronic. Yeah.
They unfortunately, it was a very, very complicated RNS. They were trying to talk positively, trying really hard to talk positively, but no, it was a profits warning.
Oh no.
So unfortunately, but it's again, it was all to do with supply and this sort of stuff. Global economic disruptions, the availability and cost of both new and raw materials, electronic components have proven to be persistent challenges. It's goes on and on and on. But yeah, slightly disappointing there.
Yeah, it's difficult, I think, Andrew, especially when you're a smaller company trying to purchase components in a very tight market. It's tough. For the bigger players like the electric components of this world that are buying huge amounts from the manufacturers, it's a lot easier. So yeah.
Another one actually which had interims this week, which the interims themselves really aren't important, is Nanoco. Obviously what's important there is the litigation against Samsung and the court case. We're all waiting for that and the result. We've been waiting for that for so long. It's got to be a relief when that's done, and let's hope they win. It does look positive that they will win.
The sales are up a bit. I think is it September that they're expecting to see the results of that.
Correct. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that'll be pretty soon. So we'll look forward to that getting hopefully resolved.
We should maybe also just mention, because this is sometimes tech, trends and brands. Last time we were talking, literally as we were talking, there was news out on Revolution Beauty and basically total chaos with the audit getting delayed and profits uncertainty, etc. What we saw this week, fairly unusually, was Boohoo taking a 7% stake. So of course that's got everybody very, very excited. I wouldn't say Boohoo taking a 7% stake is necessarily the answer to everything, should we say. They have a few of their own issues. Obviously, both companies are advised by Zeus, so you can work out how it's all taken part. And just don't forget with Revolution Beauty that if they can't get their accounts out by the end of August, and we're getting pretty close to the end of August in terms of working days because we've got a bank holiday, it will be suspended. And suspension is never good.
No, it's not. But I guess strategic investment ultimately can be very, very helpful if it works through. But and they picked the timing one as well. I mean, there's
they made a good profit on already.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Given where the share price is.
Right. Have you got anything else, Phil?
Look, I'm very sad. No, I haven't.
Well, also, I think you're looking forward to going on holiday again next week, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I've only had a week off. So far. Yes, looking forward to a break. But clearly, maybe it's a good time to go away, Andrews, as it does seem very quiet out there in the markets. But then, conversely, we are very busy as well. So
I will try and see if I can find a substitute for you, so to speak, Phil. Of course, you are unsubstitutable, if that's a word. But we will find something to let our regular listeners listen to something. But it won't be with you. We'll leave you in peace. And today's was a short one because there's no point just rabbiting on for the sake of it. Again, if anybody's got anything that they want us to talk about, or any questions about what we've said, or disagreements with what we've said, or they just want to pay us money, I always like to slip that one in, then please let us know. We are very open-minded here. But on that note, Phil, have a great holiday next week, and we'll catch up in a fortnight.
Will do, Andrew. Chat then.